The first-class cabin fell silent. The attendant who had tried to kick them out for 20 minutes was now begging for forgiveness. All because of what the children revealed about their father. But before we dive deep into this shocking story, let me know, where are you watching from in the comments? Hit that like button if you've ever witnessed discrimination in public spaces. And don't forget to subscribe to join our community fighting for equality. Now, let's dive into this shocking story. Our story begins with two teenage sisters, identical twins, Naomi and Nia Williams, just 17 years old. Bright-eyed, hopeful, the kind of girls who carried the energy of youth everywhere they went. Naomi was the more outspoken one, always ready with a witty remark, while Nia was softer spoken, always watching the world with quiet observation. They weren't just ordinary girls, but they never acted entitled. They were raised by their father, a man who knew the sting of prejudice firsthand, and who built his empire from nothing. Their father's name? Jonathan Williams. A billionaire entrepreneur. A man who grew up in the inner city, with barely enough money to eat some days, but who fought his way through college scholarships, late nights working 2 jobs, and eventually built a tech empire that changed industries. But more than money, Jonathan gave his daughters something else: pride. He taught them to walk tall, to know their worth, and never let anyone tell them they didn't belong. And on this day, that lesson would be put to the ultimate test. The twins were traveling to Los Angeles. It was summer vacation, and their father had been invited to deliver a keynote speech at a global business summit. But Jonathan had business to wrap up in New York, so he told his daughters to fly ahead, enjoy the first-class seats he had booked for them, and he would join them later. The airport buzzed with its usual energy, suitcases rolling, announcements echoing, families reuniting, strangers rushing past one another. The girls checked in, smiles on their faces, boarding passes in hand, clearly marked first class. But as they approached the gate, something shifted. A tension in the air, subtle at first, but heavy enough to foreshadow what was coming. When Naomi and Nia walked up to the gate, the attendant's eyes narrowed. A woman in her 40s, sharp uniform, lips pursed like she'd tasted something sour. She looked at the boarding passes, then back at the girls. Attendant. Ladies, I think you might be in the wrong line. First class is for premium passengers only. Naomi, trying to stay polite, we know. These are our tickets. She held them out, steady hand, polite smile. The attendant barely glanced. Attendant, no, this can't be right. First-class tickets cost more than most people's cars. You probably mean row 34 or something. Economy is down that way. Nia, softly, excuse me? These are our seats. Can you check the system? The woman snatched the passes, tapped aggressively at her computer, then scoffed. Attendant, well, they are first-class tickets, but that doesn't mean you belong there. Maybe someone else bought them for you. Maybe there was a mistake. The girls' smiles faded. People in line were starting to stare. A couple behind them whispered. Naomi felt her cheeks burn. Our father bought them for us. Is that a problem? Attendant, smirking. Honey, I've been doing this job 20 years. I know when people are trying to sneak their way into a seat they didn't pay for. First class is for business executives, not children playing dress-up. Her voice dripped with condescension, and something uglier beneath it. For the next 20 minutes, she stalled, calling over another attendant, whispering loudly, refusing to let the twins board. Passengers passed by, glancing at the scene. Some frowned disapprovingly. Others chuckled. Naomi's hands clenched into fists. Nia's eyes filled with tears. Naomi, why are you doing this? Our tickets are valid. Just scan them. Attendant, calm down, young lady. If you make a scene, I'll have security escort you out. Trust me, that's not something you want." The humiliation stung like fire. Finally, another staff member scanned the tickets. The machine beeped green. "Staff, they are valid. Seat 1A and 1B. The attendant froze. Her smirk faltered. But instead of apologizing, she sneered. "Attendant, fine. Get on the plane. But don't expect anyone to believe you really belong up there." The twins walked down the jet bridge, holding back tears. The entire cabin of first class turned as they entered. A hush fell over the rows of luxury seats. Some passengers looked curious, others, judgmental. The attendant followed behind them, whispering to another crew member, shooting them cold looks. It felt like a spotlight was on them. Like they were intruders in a place they had no right to be. And then, it happened. Just as the plane was about to close its doors, there was a commotion at the gate. Heavy footsteps, a commanding presence. Jonathan Williams, their father, had arrived. He was tall, sharply dressed, his calm confidence filling the hallway before he even stepped into the cabin. Passengers whispered. Many recognized him instantly, the billionaire, the CEO, the philanthropist. The attendant's eyes widened. Her face drained of color. She stammered, "Yes, sir. I didn't know these were your daughters." Jonathan stopped in the aisle, gaze sharp as steel. "Jonathan, you didn't need to know who they were. All you needed to know was that they were human beings, with valid tickets. And you humiliated them. For what?" The cabin was dead silent. Even the captain peeked out of the cockpit. Jonathan turned to the passengers. His voice calm, but heavy as thunder. "Jonathan, my daughters are not thieves. They are not imposters. They are young women who deserve the same respect as anyone else. Yet for 20 minutes, they were treated like criminals. Why? Because of the color of their skin." Naomi and Nia sat frozen, tears rolling down their cheeks. "Jonathan, this is what prejudice looks like. It hides behind fake smiles and excuses. But today, you all saw it in the open." The attendant whispered, I'm sorry. I didn't mean." Jonathan cut her off. "Jonathan, no. You meant exactly what you did. You saw 2 young black girls in first class, and you decided they didn't belong. That is racism. And I will not let it pass unnoticed." Passengers murmured, some nodding, some clapping softly. The attendant bowed her head, trembling, begging for forgiveness. The captain himself came out, apologizing directly to the twins. The airline promised a full investigation. The attendant was removed from duty before the plane even took off. Jonathan sat beside his daughters, placing an arm around them. "Jonathan, you see, girls, no amount of money, no level of success, will ever stop some people from judging you. But what matters is that you never accept their judgment as truth. You belong wherever you choose to be." The girls leaned against him, comforted, though the sting of humiliation still lingered. When the plane landed, the story spread like wildfire. Passengers posted online, news outlets picked it up. It became more than a viral moment. It became a lesson. Because this story wasn't just about 2 girls and a rude attendant. It was about every person who has ever been told they don't belong. And here's the truth: racism thrives in silence. But when we call it out, when we stand against it, it begins to crumble. So next time you see injustice, whether in an airport, a classroom, a workplace, or anywhere in life, don't look away. Speak up. Because every voice matters. This was the story of Naomi and Nia, and the day the world learned that no amount of prejudice could erase their worth. If this story moved you, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more powerful stories that remind us, we are stronger together. Until next time, remember, equality is not optional. It's a right.